This is Dina, welcome to the Den. And here we are with Hellraiser movie number 6. I was thinking that Hellraiser Bloodline was the last movie that Clive Barker was involved in, but it turns out that he did have a small amount of involvement with this movie, similar to his involvement in Hell on Earth. Basically, he was allowed to see an early cut of the movie and give feedback, and apparently they made some changes on the final act based on said feedback. I don't know what those changes were. Clive Barker's website doesn't have any quotes from him regarding this movie, but writer Tim Day is quoted as saying that Clive Barker liked it a lot and thought it was the best Hellraiser movie since Hellbound. I don't know if I'm going to agree, but let's give it a chance and see how it goes. They're kind of one movie late with the Dante's Inferno quote. Gotta say, I love the opening sequence with this extreme close-up of a spinning lament configuration. I like the music too, but it isn't very Hellraiser-like. And no, this isn't a fake out like with Inferno, this is what you get. Actually, it kind of reminds me of the theme to Labyrinth. It has a nice intensity to it though. It works as a horror movie theme, but I kind of miss the booming, dramatic, orchestral opening theme that the previous movies had. Also, director Rick Boda wants to make damn sure you notice his name. We open on, holy shit, it's Kirsty, you guys! So it turns out that she's been married to this guy who, holy shit, it's Mayhem!
I'm your blind spot, and my job is easy. Hide big things. You're good.
Anyway, he's named Trevor, and apparently it's been something of a rocky relationship.
We're gonna work this out, right?
Yeah. I hope it's everything you want it to be.
Will be.
Until he drives off the side of the bridge and the car fills up with water. Yeah, I don't think Allstate is gonna cover that. Trevor manages to get out and swim to the surface for some air.
Help me! Somebody!
But Kirsty is stuck in the car. And drowns. Well, that was a short cameo. Bummer. Trevor wakes up in the hospital and... Notice this young female doctor who always has words of encouragement but never really answers his questions.
It's okay, Trevor. You're safe now.
Where's Kirsty? Where's my wife?
This should help you relax.
But things aren't quite right and he passes out.
Trevor, wake up, Trevor.
But then he wakes up in an even worse situation.
It's imperative that you stay calm.
As you can see, the thinnest layer of cortex separates the part of the brain that feels pleasure.
Yikes, I'm getting Hellbound flashbacks.
The mind is a labyrinth, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell, he'd be better off with Chenard. At least his operation room is clean and well lit.
Just relax, Trevor. We're helping you. Helping you remember.
Yeah, I don't think that's how memory works. But apparently that was a nightmare.
What happened?
My name's Allison.
You had a dream too, Allison?
Notice that she introduces herself as Allison instead of Dr. Dormier.
I'm gonna see you through this.
Hello, Trevor. Back again, huh?
Also, the other doctor doesn't directly speak to her.
I recommend that we admit him until we run the rest of the tests.
Well, I don't see any abnormalities. Time to wean you off those painkillers, though.
In any case, Trevor has suffered a head trauma, and that's why he's confused and experiencing headaches.
Where's Kirsty? Where's my wife?
That's what I'd like to know.
And apparently Kirsty was never found after the car accident.
What if I took you back there, and walked you through it?
I've done that already. Over a month ago.
And Trevor is also suffering memory loss.
You said you tried to pull her under the passenger side, but the door was locked, right?
Yeah.
The report says the doors were open.
Maybe she unlocked them, swam out.
Maybe. I'll double check. Could be there bad.
So he ends up taking the bus home and Everything just seems a little off.
Music, you mind turning that down?
Except for the dipshit playing the loud music. That's all too normal. Honey, I'm home! That's right, I forgot. My wife is missing.
Why don't you come to bed?
He starts thinking about Kirsty, and apparently at one time their relationship was great. Or at least that's how he remembers it.
Hey, turn off the light.
At work the next day, everyone is staring at Trevor, who obviously missed a day of work, and the guy next to him assumes he had a hot date.
Secret's safe with me, pal. We'll call it a personal day, okay? Get some numbers going. Any numbers at all will do.
Yeah, if you could get some work done, that would be great.
We're all here for you, Trev.
Sure you are. Anyway, Trevor looks around and finds a business card with the words, "All problems solved" on it, which triggers a memory where it led him to some shady underground sweatshop. Shades of Jacob's Ladder.
I can see into your soul.
Back in reality, he goes to the break room. And of course the food gets stuck. That's just the kind of day he's having.
Now what?
That's an odd place for a Titanic reference.
Come on, speak up. I'm trying to run a business here.
But in all seriousness, I assume this woman is his boss. I guess she's mad that he spent more than 5 seconds getting a snack or something.
What?
I know what you like.
And I guess the punishment for that is rape. Interesting business she's running. Anyway, Trevor doesn't quite remember, but apparently this isn't the first time these two have gotten it on.
What the hell are we doing?
Nothing we haven't done before. Now get some fucking work done.
Some security guard must love his job.
That's it.
Trevor finds the scene playing on his monitor when he gets back to his desk. But then the detective from earlier, Detective Lang, calls with more news about Kirsty.
We still haven't been able to locate your wife, although missing persons turned up some evidence that suggests foul play may have been involved.
So Lang is being super friendly about how he's wording it, but it basically comes down to the fact that all the evidence seems to be pointing to the fact that it looks like the car was driven off the bridge intentionally.
Anything that might have happened just before that accident that you haven't mentioned?
And now we see a slightly different version of the opening scene, showing that Trevor might be remembering it wrong.
You guys know something that I don't?
All things considered, we probably know a lot less than you do.
On his way home that evening, he notices a guy in a mask staring at him. And there he is again. Suddenly, Trevor isn't feeling too well. I nearly missed the fact that his shirt is all wet in just this one shot. And that's why he wasn't feeling well. Ugh. Fortunately for him, it was just a hallucination.
I did it. Well, what do you think?
Seems like every woman Trevor comes in contact with wants a piece of him.
Are you okay?
Not at all.
Wonder why that is. Anyway, Trevor ends up getting out an old videotape he'd made of their 5-year anniversary.
Something planned for you. Something I've been planning for a long time.
Planning what? There's not going to be a dismembered finger in there, is there? No, look at the size. We all know what that's going to be.
Where did you get this?
Interesting gift to give Kirsty. Either that's a really weird coincidence, or he was fucking with her on purpose. Which would be really messed up. In any case, once again there's a knock at the door, only this time there's no one there. Nice jump scare. And oh look, it's Gwen from work.
Sit.
And apparently she's into the kinky stuff.
Don't make me beat you.
Well, she is in the right franchise for it. Who set up that camera?
Get off me. Go ahead, get up, get up.
I can say goodbye to that promotion.
But even after she leaves, the camera seems to be recording something that isn't happening.
Yeah, we're all here for you, Trevor.
And here we see our first two Cenobites, Surgeon and Bound. But now Trevor's at work, so I guess he never left and he dreamed all of that stuff that happened at home? Or maybe it's the next day.
I got some seriously weird shit going on. The accident fucked you up more than I thought.
Anyway, the coworker gives him the information of an acupuncturist named Sage.
Anybody seen Gwen?
Apparently no one knows where Gwen is, so I guess this is the next day. Here, have some foreshadowing in the form of an ice pick. Anyway, acupuncture needles. That's kind of reminiscent of what the doctor was doing to his brain earlier.
I can see into your soul.
So now we're taken back to the flashback from earlier where he went to the sweatshop.
Trapped by a wife who suffocates you with forgiveness. You're looking for a way out. This musical puzzle, created by a Frenchman named Le Marchand.
Ah, Le Marchand's legacy continues. Yeah, this is definitely the kind of place where one would get a lament configuration. Fun fact, apparently the writer of this movie originally wanted to have this round puzzle instead of the usual puzzle box. Apparently Clive Barker's original idea was that there were many puzzles that led to the Cenobites dimension. And not just the box, and the writer of this movie wanted to do something with that concept. But once the script was turned in, the director said that that needed to be changed. I can kind of see why. We've gone 5 movies with there being only the box-shaped lament configuration. It's a bit late to try to change it. Audiences probably wouldn't like it. Though I do think the round one looks cool, for the record. Anyway, once Trevor snaps out of it, he notices that Sage is gone. And the room goes dark. And there he is, emerging from an acupuncture diagram of all places. A little over 1/3 of the way into the movie. This movie plays with the theme of needles and puncturing in general a lot, which you'd think would be leading to something important, but I think it's just meant to be symbolic of Pinhead. Looks like Pinhead is ready to do some acupuncture of his own. Also, I noticed that looks different than it did in Hell on Earth. I'm not calling out a continuity error, I'm sure Pinhead can look however he wants. Just think it's interesting. I don't think that's how you do acupuncture.
Which do you find more exhilarating, Trevor? The pain or the pleasure? Personally, I prefer pain.
I never would have guessed. Anyway, of course, that was another hallucination.
Hello?
So this time he gets a call from Lang's partner, Detective Givens. And once again, it's back to the police station, where Givens is basically accusing Trevor of murdering Kirsty.
You know, I've done my homework on you, man. You're real smart with numbers, aren't you?
Where are you going with this?
And it turns out that she had an inheritance.
Kirsty's father and Uncle Frank had several sizable financial holdings when they passed away.
You know what? I can believe that. Larry did seem well off, and Frank must have had some money stashed away so he could travel the world in search of the lament configuration. I'm not sure about Frank leaving money to Kirsty, but maybe Larry had access to it and he had it set up so that Kirsty would get the money if they died.
It seems that she's the sole beneficiary, so if Kirsty's dead, like you seem so fucking certain.
Anyway, Givens is convinced that Trevor killed Kirsty so that he could get her inheritance.
I got a bad feeling about you, Trev.
Later that night, he's at home again, and the chick with the tattoo shows up again.
Can I, borrow something?
Yeah, sure, what do you want?
You?
And she's being rather forward.
Tie me up.
Apparently he has some sort of a past with her too and doesn't remember it. Well, that was an awkward way to meet another Cenobite. Trevor, Stitch. Stitch, Trevor. And this time he wakes up to find blood everywhere, and now there's another dead woman in his apartment. Well, she did want to be tied up.
All problems solved.
If you forgot, that's the phrase that was printed on the business card earlier. But that doesn't make it any less true because the blood is gone. And so is the body. In fact, he goes to check on her and she's right there in her apartment.
Well, if you know Tawny,
better know me, pal.
And apparently her name is Tawny. Suits her. Anyway, he gets another call from Detective Lang, and it's back to the police station again.
No, I'm not too sure about the wife.
It's done.
Here's an interesting bit where he hears Lang arguing with his partner, but it turns out that Lang was the only one in the room. Also, Lang questions Trevor about Gwen. And apparently his coworker is also being questioned.
She was my boss.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. What did he tell you?
Nothing.
Then this happens. It's hinted at that this guy might actually be a Cenobite, but with how much makeup they all wear, you can't tell which one or even if this is one of the actors who played a Cenobite.
And are you willing to pay the price?
Anyway, we're back to when Trevor acquired the puzzle box.
No, the price is far greater. But you'll learn that.
I just realized that we hear that exact same sound at the end of the first Hellraiser movie, just without any kind of visual to go with it.
What's your pleasure, sir?
That's a kind of random but pretty neat little callback.
You okay?
Yeah, no, it's just,
After that weirdness, he goes back to see Dr. Allison, where he talks about how he's been remembering Kirsty.
I miss my wife.
Sounds like you're remembering more and more. That's a good thing, Trevor. Maybe you're not the angel that you thought you were.
Yeah, Joseph Thorne looked a lot more like Angel. Seriously, though, that's an interesting choice of words. Anyway, back to work. I guess the next day he tried to find out what his coworker told the police and doesn't get anywhere.
I think I did it. Did what? Killed Kirsty. I got a report to do.
Nice one, Trev.
Just make yourself at home.
Oh, already have.
It turns out that the puzzle box was found near the car with blood on it.
I think it was in the car.
Gee, you think so?
I kinda love Detective Lang at this point.
I got Givens ready to drag you in today on murder charges. Help me get him off my back.
And as Lang walks away, Trevor looks and sees Givens instead.
We need to talk.
It also turns out that Trevor's coworker, whose name is Brett, is leaving. Things are getting weird and the job doesn't pay well enough anyway, and I love the random awkwardness of this guy interrupting their conversation. Anyway, he confirms the info about Kirsty's inheritance.
Talking about the plan. What did you tell Lang? Did you tell him about Gwen? About the inheritance?
I didn't tell them anything.
Yeah, we're all here for you, Trev.
He's still here for you, Trev. Suddenly, he's overwhelmed with another flood of memories that contradict the previous ones, and he ends up cutting himself.
I'd like to speak to Dr. Allison Dormier.
He calls the hospital and asks for Allison, but they don't know who she is. So he goes to see the acupuncturist again for his headaches. Because he had such a great experience last time, she tells him that his body is totally healed, but his soul needs healing.
You can trust me.
Sexual healing. Wait, what about the acupuncture needles he had in his chest? Oh well. And now he's in an ambulance after apparently having passed out on the bus.
You're riding on a bus, and then you just collapse onto the floor, out cold.
Once the doctor starts examining him, he asks about Allison again.
Allison? Yeah, Allison Dormier. She's a resident here.
I'm sorry, we don't have any resident by the name of Allison.
It's imperative that you stay calm.
Another call back to the brain surgery scene.
It's imperative that you stay calm.
Just relax, Trevor. Remember,
You're all here for me. Go ahead, say it. Jesus Christ.
What, you don't believe that? He goes looking for Allison, and of course her office is being cleaned out.
Trevor?
But, there she is. Notice how the lighting changes, making her appear like an angel.
You can't undo your past. And sooner or later, you're gonna have to confront it. And it frightens me to think that I can't be there for you when you do.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, well, I was starting to think I was going, insane or something.
Hey, buddy. What? Who the hell are you talking to?
But apparently she wasn't really there. Okay, I'm well past the halfway point, so I'm ending part 1 here. This is another good one, so I definitely recommend watching this movie if you haven't seen it yet, before I get to part 2.